Current political rhetoric from the MAGA movement and certain populist elites like Donald Trump characterizes American education as an elective luxury or a Marxist indoctrination camp. As institutionalists, we must correct this narrative. A broad, fact-based education, grounded in the Western tradition of critical inquiry, is not a partisan lifestyle choice. It is a primary driver of American economic adaptability and success, and the sole safeguard against the erratic impulses of mob rule and state-mandated orthodoxy. The worker bee model of education, favored by populist critics, prioritizing narrow vocational training over broad inquiry, is an economic dead end in a 21st century market. Prosperity today depends on meta skills, meaning analytical reasoning, ethical judgment, and the ability to synthesize complex data. These are the hallmarks of a liberal education. While technical degrees offer high starting salaries, data consistently shows that by mid-career, when earners are in their mid-40s to their 60s, liberal arts graduates often out-earn their pre-professional counterparts. Why? Because they possess the executive capacity to lead and pivot when specific industries are disrupted. Creativity, ingenuity, and an entrepreneurial mindset do not emerge from a vacuum of patriotic slogans. It requires the great conversation of the liberal arts, exposure to disparate ideas that spark the next generation of American enterprise. Critics like President Trump have proposed dismantling the Department of Education and replacing independent accreditation with state-directed patriotic standards. We must frame this as an assault on institutional autonomy. Proposals to fire accreditors and tax university endowments to fund a state-run American academy are not conservative, they are radical expansions of executive power. Forcing universities to adopt a single patriotic narrative mirrors the very state-mandated groupthink that conservatives spent decades criticizing in the Soviet Union. The rise of white Christian nationalism seeks to transform the university from an open forum of inquiry into a closed system of identity reinforcement. This narrows the American mind, making us less competitive on the global stage and more prone to domestic civil strife. Our republic was founded by men who were the products of rigorous critical education. They understood that self-governing Americans must be able to distinguish between a demagogue and a statesman. True patriotic education is not the rote memorization of virtues, but the difficult work of engaging with the American experiment's complexities. American education teaches the procedural voice, the ability to respect institutions and the rule of law, even when the outcome is personally or politically unfavorable. Without a citizenry trained in fact-based critical inquiry, the public square becomes a vacuum filled by the loudest, richest, or most radical voices. Liberal education provides the institutional ballast required to prevent the ship of state from capsizing in populist storms.